Hi guys, Richard Chesser here, nutritionist and part of the Athleat team. A short video for you today on carbohydrates. Carbohydrates seem to be one of the most controversial topics both in general nutrition and sports nutrition for perhaps a number of different reasons, but we'll give you our little take on them. So we'll start actually at the end and then we'll give you a little bit of detail. But as you can guess here at Athleat, we take quite a simple approach to our carbohydrates. We like to use them and we like to earn them. But before we explore that, let's have a little think about what carbohydrates are in the first place. So carbohydrates are quite a simple molecule then. They consist of a series of really small molecules linked together. After consumption, that large molecule is broken down into those individual units, and one of the simplest forms that it's broken down to is glucose. Now that glucose, when it's in your bloodstream, it has two primary fates. It can either be metabolized for energy, so producing energy for an active muscle for example, or it can be stored, and that storage comes in two forms, either as glycogen in the liver or the muscle, or as fat in the adipose tissue. Now, when you do break that carbohydrate down, when you metabolize it, it can produce quite a lot of energy really quite efficiently. Okay, that's why as exercise intensity increases, our dependence on carbohydrate to provide the energy for the active muscle rapidly increases. And therefore, if carbohydrates are not readily available during intense exercise, either the intensity or the duration of that exercise bout is going to be compromised. Now, we don't actually have a requirement for carbohydrate in our diet, unlike we do with fat and protein, and our bodies can function and exist without it. However, because the body is, or a lot of nutrition in the body is about efficiency, and our bodies don't like polar extremes of either very high carbohydrate or very low carbohydrate intakes, it's prudent to contain a certain amount of carbohydrate in your diet pretty much at all times to ensure that there's always carbohydrate available for those exercising muscles when they need to draw upon it. Therefore, with our carbs, we like to use them or we like to earn them. So that means that any time we know we're going to be exercising, we include a large amount of carbohydrate within our diet to make sure that they are readily available for the exercising muscle. And then after exercise, we also include them because we've earned them. We prefer to replace our carbohydrates in the first few hours after exercise because that's when they're most efficiently stored as glycogen within the liver or the muscle tissue. So with this approach of using them and earn them, we don't centre our diets around carbohydrate. It's not in every single meal and snack. But on days of heavy training, we increase our intake of them. On days of lighter training or days off, we decrease our focus on them. But we never exclude them. It's just a case of shifting the focus to or from carbohydrate depending on what our body needs at that time. We certainly do recognise as well that carbohydrates have a wide and varied role above and beyond just fuel sources for the exercising muscles. That's another reason why we don't exclude them in their entirety. We want to make sure they're always in the diet in some shape or form. However, just like our fat and our protein sources, we're quite picky about the types of carbohydrates that we choose to eat. We tend to consume the majority of our carbs from fruits, vegetables and some dairy foods as well. We don't exclude anything like grains or wheat, but we simply prefer to choose fruits and vegetables primarily because they've got a wider nutrition profile to them, so we get a bit of better bang for a buck per dose of carbohydrate there. The only carbs that we do try and minimise are those highly refined, energy-dense but nutrient-poor carbohydrates, so fizzy drinks, chocolates, sweets, highly processed foods and so on. And we don't just minimise them because of their high sugar intake, we also want to avoid a lot of the nutrition nasties that they include, so it might be hydrogenated fats or a lot of flavourings, additives, preservatives and so on. So, bottom line, at Athleat we like to keep it quite simple. We're all about eating natural and performing great, so therefore with our carbohydrates we like to use them and we like to earn them. So it's all about context for our carbs. Thanks for watching.